For some people, working hard means burning the midnight oil during the week and then using the weekend to catch up on that sleep. Did you know this is the silent killer of your productivity? Hi and welcome to the Snooze Strategists. This is the show where we share with you how to be more focused, rested, and productive by providing strategies to manage your energy levels through better sleep. I'm Alex Young, a tech founder and a corporate problem solver with over 20 years of experience building digital products and mentoring emerging leaders.
Hi, I'm Mashen Vitana, a scientist and an innovator with over 10 years of experience working in hospitals, leading research, and advising emerging sleep ventures.
So, social jet lag, I've never actually heard this term before. It's come about in the press a little bit, and I'll share a little picture that I saw the other day, which I thought was quite interesting. Here's an article which was on the ABC website a little bit earlier this month. It's calling out social jet lag, sleep chronotypes, and why we should be embracing the shut-eye we get. And it got me thinking, and I was wondering about how this thing called social jet lag, and it'd be great to get your rundown or breakdown of what this is about. How does it actually impact us, particularly for those that are busy workers in corporate or in any sort of environment where you tend to be burning the midnight oil? You work hard during the weekdays as hard as possible, and then weekend comes and you kind of go, oh, I've got a bit of sleep to catch up on, and you get into this cycle. So this is just a nice little picture to sort of remind us that it is something that's in the press, but a good starting point might be what is social jet lag? I mean, I've never heard it before, but can you help me understand what is it about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a term. It's a fairly new term in the sleep medicine field as well. In simplest term, social jet lag is when your body clock is not really aligned or agreeing with your social clock. So good example is if you are, let's say, a night owl, you'd like to go to sleep quite late, and you'd like to wake up fairly late in the morning as well, but due to work commitments, you constantly have to wake up early. Therefore, there's a mismatch between what your body would like to do versus what you can do due to social commitments.
Okay, and is this? Well, I guess gathering now that it's on a news website, it's starting to enter general usage, and people are starting to understand what it is. Why is it that this is such a recent sort of term that's being coined?
I think we need to go back to the kind of beginning to understand this. Alex, if you can load that, the graphics we found earlier. So how the body works, light is the key controller of our functions, whether it's a gene expression or whether making you fall asleep. Light's the controlling point of our body. So it's almost like, imagine a parent guiding group of young toddlers, because parent would come and control and make sure the kids would stay in the right place, safe. All the actions of these kids are evolving around the parent. So it's exactly like that. So the light's the key controller for the body. So you can see in this the light dark cycle and the biological clock and the sleep. So human body was made to do that. When the sun comes up, you would wake up. During the day, you would stay active. When the sun goes down, slowly you will go to sleep. And the biological clock is controlled by sun and the darkness. You sleep, you wake up once again. It's a nice cycle. But what happened with this kind of modern urbanization with the artificial light, it didn't really have massive impact until quite recently when the smartphones came up. Now the sunlight it's a good indicator, but then at night there's no total darkness. You would have your artificial lights, and then you have mobile phones, your laptops, your tablets. So constantly light would emit, and biological clock kind of get disrupted by that. And biological clock is not the driver for your sleep anymore. When you fall asleep, and you wake up when you go to sleep when you feel like you want to go to sleep. So you go to the bed, watch your Netflix, and then you feel like time to sleep, try to sleep. In the morning, you don't wake up naturally. Most of the time you would use your mobile phone or your alarm clock.
Yep.
And even to fall asleep, sometimes it's not natural. You would pop some sleeping pills or get some assistance to fall asleep as well. So the whole system is disrupted. And that's the beginning. One of the issues with the social jet lag. And if you can go to the next slide, Alex. And so if you look at this top part in this graph, you can see from 2002 to 2010, there's a clear decline of the amount of sleep people get in during work days. So in the top part, we can see people used to get about 7.5 hours sleep around in 2002, but over time it has declined to almost 7 hours. So you can see now with people sleep less and less during the week, and the problem I think arises that they would sleep more and more in their free days or their weekends.
Okay.
So this is, I think, the base of the social jet lag issue. With this, there are a whole sort of different problems coming in with this. Social jet lag can cause fatigue and tiredness, so alertness issues. There's a great study published by some group of Japanese researchers in 2021. They said if the social jet lag, or if that difference is more than 1 hour, there's increased daytime sleepiness, increased fatigue among people. I think probably you and I probably have experienced this in some point of our lives as well, that we work till quite late during the week and kind of crawl towards the weekend to get some extra sleep. But the science says that's not the way to go ahead.
Okay. So if I can paraphrase that, there's one component of it is, for millions of years as humans, our activity has been dictated by sun up, sun down. And now we're in an age where we can control when we have light and when we have access to activities that we want, whether that be playing video games all night, or whether it's watching Netflix all night, or whether it's just working well into the early hours of the morning. And because of that, as per that last diagram, there is a habit of offloading all that good sleep towards the end of the week. So
that's right.
Monday to Friday, every night, bang, 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 working hard, maybe late into the night. Come Saturday, Sunday, I try and supplement that, but there's actually a fairly severe impact to your productivity, or what are those other symptoms? Like what actually happens to you if you do get into that cycle or rhythm of rhythm of sleeping? What's the impact to you?
Yeah, because conceptually it makes sense. You sleep less during the week and you go like, I need to catch up. There's a sleep debt. I would sleep more. So, but science says it's not. Other than fatigue and the tiredness, there's some evidence say anger, verbal aggression, and physical aggression is happening a lot among users, people with less sleep and higher social jet lag. So there's actually increased. There's a great study done in, I think, US population that shows young adults predominantly, that shows these sort of qualities. Other than that, the mood really gets impacted by this. When you sleep less, you would be a bit more irritable, and it's easy to you get from your kind of happy baseline state to more down, sad, agitated state. Main driver could be lack of sleep during the week, and also when you wake up later on a weekday or your rest day, your body will be still confused a bit, because body thinks you're supposed to wake up on a different time, but your actual wake up time is a lot later. So that's another main driver for that.
Okay, so it's a bit of a myth that you can actually catch up on those missing hours from the Monday to Friday by trying to supplement through Saturday and Sunday.
Absolutely. So it's definitely a myth, and that's not. People really should be focused on that and try not to do that, the consequences are quite severe. There's another amazing study done in Japan, I think published in 2019, that they found there's increased risk of depression and other mental health issues associated with social jet lag. So it's really important to make sure that you don't look from this kind of catching up on sleep in this point of view, because there's actually no evidence to support that. There's increased risk of obesity as well. There's clear association if the social jet lag is more than 1 hour to 4.5 hours. There's increased risk of developing obesity. And the evidence on the mental health depression side is just incredible. There's a lot of studies keep coming out showing this. I think it's just that people just constantly stuck in a bit of a hamster wheel just to get more done. They don't understand that it's actually causing some negative issues in their life. And the other way I see problem with sleep in general is they do this every night for extended period of time. So for them, the baseline is that tiredness or the agitated state. So it's very hard for them to step back and look at the problem and understand it's actually, no, there's something wrong with this. And we probably think in the last few episodes, we discussed some of the tools that they can use on this issue as well.
It's something interesting that you said there in terms of that sleep baseline. So if for a few nights, say it's a busy period at work and I'm going to have to put in some extra hours, you may normally go to bed at 9, and then suddenly for this period of 2 weeks, it's about 10, 11 or 12. And then your body kind of, or you feel like I can cope with it. So you maintain that, and you've just shifted your baseline there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. But sometimes there's always hard deadlines in the morning. Yeah, you stay up working and you go to sleep late, but in the morning you have to wake up, whether it's going to work again or looking after the kids, helping with the family. So because of that, most of the time you limit the amount of sleep you get.
Okay, so I gather that there's a way to remedy this.
Yeah, that's right. So great starting point would be to have regular wake up time and bedtime, and make sure you go to bed or wake up at exact times or close within 1 hour of those times. And make sure when you fix these times, you get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep if you're an adult. So I think that's the important first step. The second step, I think we did talk about a bit in our last episode as well. Schedule your day around your chronotype or when you are most active. If you're quite active during the night, try to arrange your calendar around that, where you start work a bit later, speak to your workplace, speak to your family, and make sure you accommodate around your natural chronotype rather than force something on you. And make sure you have regular meal times, because meal times are associated with your chronotype or circadian rhythm. And when you have the breakfast, your body will lock in. So what we need to do to get out of this social jet lag is to keep your circadian rhythm kind of stuck, or your body clock stuck to certain points in the day. So meal times is one of the great tools to do that.
Okay, and we were talking about this earlier, that these seem like no-brainers. You should surely, everyone knows you go to bed and wake up at the same sort of time, and we know, we've talked about that before, when we're in our energy levels are, and surely you should just have regular meals. How do you help individuals that may struggle with keeping a schedule? Well, I guess we live in a day and age now where work is the driver for our lifestyle, isn't it? And your work and your work culture, for better or worse, and hopefully this new way of working in post-COVID world is different. And it sounds like things are changing for the best. But how might you take control of that and not say my work schedule is what drives my lifestyle and also drives my sleep pattern?
Yeah, I think good starting point could be to we'll publish a link, do a sleep diary to understand actually what you normally do. So you can document for about 2 weeks and understand the patterns of your day when it comes to sleep and staying awake. And the other thing, yeah, it's exactly very simple idea. Try to understand the chronotype, whether you're a morning person, you're an evening person, when you're most active during the day, and prioritize sleep. In your calendar, maybe book some time. This is my sleep time. This is regardless of what happens during the day, I'm just going to go and sleep at this particular time. So get into a bit of a habit. So if you can set an alarm 15 minutes before the bedtime and kind of force yourself to go and get that sleep you need. Or if you monitor a bit of change, you will notice the increased energy. You will be able to focus a bit more, and that when you get those benefits, you will definitely, I think, try to understand. Yep, that actually works for me, and that's something I should do to get more. Sometimes that extra hour of sleep will give you 4 or 5 hours of productivity during the day.
That makes sense. Yeah. My only contribution to those tips would be, if you need some moral support, then ask your friends or family what your plan is and share it with them. And sometimes having that others aware of what you're trying to achieve also helps with that environmental control. Like, it's no good if you've got other people playing music loud next door or next door, in the room next door, or kids running around. It's some support from others may also help you achieve that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. Most of the time, I think we have to do this as a group rather than you try to fix yourself by yourself. Have these conversations for sure.
Cool. Brilliant. No, that's a really good one. And let us know if these strategies work for you. We'd like to get some feedback and understand what people are putting in place. I've got to try a lot of these things myself still, so I'll be guinea pig for that sleep diary, and I'm happy to share how I go with it. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe.